Hello fellow hobbyists and YouTubers, it's the Eye. Today I'd like to show you a Kyosho Blizzard that I put together. I'm going to go over the build a little bit with you, and I'll put a list of the parts and roughly how much they cost in the description below, so it gives you an idea of how much something like this might cost you. I got my first Kyosho Blizzard roughly about 4 years ago. It was a Blizzard FR. I got it home and started messing with it and started digging the tracks and the dual motors. So I started tinkering with it. Put a couple of mods on it, upgrades. But I thought it'd be cool to see if I could get one to go a little bit faster. Something that might be able to shoot a couple rooster tails. So one night I was shopping on eBay for stuff I didn't need, and I came across some direct drive gears for a Kyosho Blizzard, used. And they came mounted up on some 75 turn Matrix technology brushed motors. The motors were mounted in an SR chassis, and they were already hooked up to the chains, and the suspension was on there, and that's what I got. Chassis, engines, gears, suspension, 120 bucks. Over about the next year, started collecting parts for it and figuring out exactly what I wanted to do with it. As far as the bodies go, I went back and forth between the SR body and the FR body. The SR body's a little more streamlined and the cab sits back a bit. The FR body had these shoulders on it. Cab sat forward, a little more aggressive, a little bigger on there. I thought it just looked a little cooler. I thought it would look a little cooler. But then after getting about a couple packs through it, I realized that those shoulders that I thought looked so cool were catching snow after these tracks get moving, shoving it up into the cab there. But I still think it looks cooler, and that's what matters. And then so I took the FR body. It was clear. I painted it up myself. It didn't turn out near as good as I wanted, of course, for two reasons: impatience and too much paint. But it turned out pretty good. I wanted to keep the top of the cab streamlined, so I left off the light buckets that are normally on there, and I took one of them and I mounted it on the back here to make it look like a turbo intercooler air inlet, something like that. And I cut off the exhaust to make it look like a big fat sporty exhaust sticking out of the back there. And then I took a 1/28 scale buggy wing and mounted it to a drift car spoiler mount. 1/10 scale drift car spoiler mount. I thought that turned out pretty slick. It does really good at catching snow and creating drag. And then I left a few of the stock pieces on there to help it make it look a little more scale. And that's about it for the body. On the inside here, as far as the chassis goes, I kept that SR chassis that came with the gears. I kept that suspension, put some SR tracks on it, and took the chrome wheels and put some bearings in there. Then on the inside here, I used the Blizzard 2.0 wiring harness with its switch, just a little more modern and streamlined. I have it going to a cheap receiver box that I got off of eBay, and I have it mounted to the stock servo mount that usually works the blade on the front. And then the electronic cover, I just took the stock one and I have it shoved up underneath a shaft here that I made out of a piece of arrow that the neighbor kids gave me across the fence. And I have it shoved down in between the chassis and the ESC there. And it just slides right down in there. It holds nice and tight, it's not going anywhere. And I have about 6 packs through it, and I haven't had any issues with anything getting wet underneath there, even with the track shooting snow up into the cab. As far as the ESC goes, I have the Sabertooth 2x12 amp, and that enables me to use the pistol grip controller. I'm using the FS GT3B. I like this controller for builds like this, that I just need something to get it going and working well for me. It's very intuitive, very cost effective. Then I have the ESC mounted to the stock electronic box mounts there. Just screwed right in for me. It's not going anywhere. Then I have that running to 2 brushed 540 can 80 turn motors. Put some red heat sinks on there that do absolutely nothing except for look cool. On the front here I got a light bar mounted it up with some electric connectors that I chopped up to make some standoffs. Make it fit perfect right in front of the body there. I also put some accent lighting in the chassis that I can cycle with the 3rd channel on the controller there. Having it all powered by a Florion 1500 milliamp 3S battery. The ESC can handle 6S, but on 3S, on packed snow that it's getting good grip on, I'd say it's doing about 20 miles an hour. Does pretty good with that direct drive. What makes it a direct drive? If you look at the stock Kyosho Blizzard, it's got the 2 motors, one that runs this track on this side and one that runs this track on this side. But each motor has to go through this transmission before it gets to the drive gear out here that powers the chain. If you look at this one, the drive gear is mounted directly to the drive shaft on the motor. Direct drive. It doesn't have to go through any gearing or transmissions. It's just directly driven from the shaft on the motor. Once you get it into deeper snow, it's start slowing down quite a bit. So much fun though. I've had a lot of fun building it. Hopefully I got you guys creative juices flowing for whatever project you may have going. Be respectful to each other, and I will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.